Owning a rental property sounds like a dream until you realize how much work goes into getting it ready. Determine a competitive rent price, market the property, schedule the showing, screen tenants, draft up the lease, set up rent collection, handle maintenance requests, maintain tenant communication. Whew, sound complicated? Renter's Warehouse is here to take the hard work off your rental to-do list. Qualified tenants? Check. Rent collection? Check. Maintenance coordination? You got it. Go to renterswarehouse.com for a free rental analysis to find out how much your home can rent for. Or call 952-444-6996 because from now on, the only thing you need on your to-do list is to call Renter's Warehouse.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers who chonk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Golden State Media Concepts presents the GSMC Classic Series, with episodes of some of your favorites from a day gone by, a time gone by. Join us as we time travel to some of your classic favorites from yesteryear. The GSMC Podcast Network invites you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the GSMC Classic Series on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.
Another 5-minute mystery. City editor.
This Tom Jackson?
Yes, who's this?
Keep this under your hat, Jackson, and you'll have a front-page story.
What is this, a gag?
You won't think so when I tell you this is Rocky Stebbins.
Well, and where have you been hiding out? You know the whole police force is looking for you?
Yeah, I know.
Did you pull off that job at the bank and kill that guard?
That's what I want to see you about. I had nothing to do with it. And I want your paper to print the story. Can I come up and see you?
Sure. What have I got to lose except my job? Anyone see you come in here, Stebbins?
Not a soul. I even doubled back to make sure. Now, you're a square guy, Jackson, and I'm telling you the facts. I got an alibi.
Yeah, let's hear your dream.
The bank job was pulled off at 2 o'clock, see? At that time, I'm someplace else.
Any witnesses?
I got a silent witness.
Yeah, who?
It ain't a who, it's a what. I saw the explosion and the fire at the United Oil Company tanks this afternoon.
Yeah, where were you when they blew up?
I was up on top of Lookout Mountain when I saw the whole thing happen.
What was the exact time the explosions began?
It was 2:15. And you know, I couldn't get from the bank to the mountain in 15 minutes.
Yeah, not very well. More than 10 miles to the foot of the mountain, and then that walk uphill takes a good half hour.
And how?
But why would I believe that you were on top of that mountain when the United States tanks blew up?
I can give you an eyewitness description.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it was such a swell day that I decided to spend the afternoon on the mountain looking out at the sights.
Cut it out, Rocky. Get to the explosion.
Okay. Well, I'm looking south, see, away from the tanks at the time it happens. All of a sudden, I start hearing some blasting. I turn around quick to the tanks, and some more explosions is tearing the air apart. But I don't see nothing. After one more blast, I suddenly see flames and smoke start pouring up from the tanks. Then some more explosions, then some more fire. It was the most horrible thing I ever seen in my whole life. My ears was coming off.
Yeah, so are mine right now.
Huh? What do you mean?
Simply that your alibi is the biggest cock and bull story I've heard in a long time. Now stay where you are, Rocky. I'm calling the police.
What mistake did Rocky Stebbins make in the telling of his alibi? In just a moment we'll know, but first...
You were doing fine until you hit the climax of your story. Then it fell apart completely. You forgot one little fact that every schoolboy learns. The scientific law that light travels faster than sound.
So what?
So you said that first you heard the explosions and then you saw the fire, which, my friend, is an impossibility. Light goes at the speed of 186,000 miles per second, while sound only travels 700 miles per hour. The fire would have been seen first, and the explosions heard a few seconds later.
A guy ain't got a chance. If it ain't one kind of law, it's another.
Another 5-minute mystery. It was a windy, rainy night in March when a man staggered into the police station of a small town. He was cut and bruised and fainting from loss of blood. He held on to himself, however, long enough to tell his story. A strange story that marked the beginning of an even stranger case.
Speak up, man. How did it happen?
I don't know. We were driving along the Hildreth Road. My headlights were on full. It was raining so hard I had to have bright lights.
Yes, go on.
Suddenly, without a sound, another car came out of the night, racing toward us. I swerved, and then everything went black.
What happened when you regained your senses?
The car I was driving was turned over completely. I shook my wife, who was driving with me. She was dead.
I'm sorry.
I dragged myself from the car, and then I saw it.
Saw what?
A man standing on the road about 10 feet from the car. He was watching me, but it was his face. His face.
What about his face?
Oh, it was not a human face. Hollow eyes, sunken cheeks, and heaven help me, a grinning, fiendish mouth. Oh, I can't understand it. And where was the car that almost hit me? And why didn't I hear it?
Steady now, steady now. Those are questions we'll answer in good time. Hank!
Yes, Inspector?
Get me Jack Hawkes on the phone.
Hawks, Daredevil Hawks?
Yes, Daredevil Hawkes. Get going.
Right.
What's the lowdown on this job, Inspector?
Hawkes, you heard the exact story. He was driving along Hildreth Road, saw a car coming toward him, swerved into a ditch and turned over.
So what? It happens every day.
Maybe. But, Hawkes, 5 people have been killed on Hildreth Road that way in the past 2 weeks.
You think there's something to it?
I certainly do. Why don't they hear this car coming? Why aren't there any tracks on the road?
No tracks.
We've examined the road carefully after each accident. The marks of the victim's car are always plain. The marks of the car that caused him to swerve are nowhere to be seen. Why? I'll tell you. Hawkes, there isn't any car.
You're dippy.
Someone, probably a maniac, Hawkes, is playing tricks. Remember what the chap said about a man standing 10 feet away, grinning at him?
He's nuts.
Maybe so, but we're going to find out. We are going to drive along that road tonight at 50 miles an hour, and when we see that car, well...
Well, what?
Hawkes, anybody can drive a car, but only one person can do what I want done tonight, and that person is you. Get it?
Daredevil Hawks, eh? I get it, Inspector. Let's go.
Haven't seen the thing so far. You know what you're to do now?
Sure. When I see this jalopy, whatever it is, coming at us out of the darkness, I'm going to hit it for all it's worth.
Right. Don't swerve under any circumstance. Hit it head on, and we'll see what happens.
Maybe we will, and maybe we won't.
Don't be peasant. Look, there it is. See it?
It's a car, all right. Hold tight. We're going to crash.
You all right, Hawkes?
I'm cut a little, but I'm all right.
Got a flashlight?
Yeah.
Shine on the road there.
Okay. Hey, look at all the glass.
Yes, a mirror.
What do you mean, mirror?
A mirror suspended from this tree here. A huge mirror big enough to reflect a car. It wasn't another automobile we saw coming toward us. It was our own reflection in this mirror.
Well, if that doesn't beat...
Wait. There's the man we want, I think. You! Stop or I'll shoot!
He ain't stopping, Inspector.
Then I'm shooting. Hawks! Come on.
Well, you got him all right.
Here he is. Turn him over.
Right.
Let's have your light. Here.
Here you are.
I thought so.
Who is it?
It was Dr. Rivaldo, a man whose inventive genius drove him insane, Hawks. He escaped from the asylum up here. They've been looking for him for days. Well, their search is ended.
Another 5-minute mystery. A storm rages outside the house of Emery Lockmore, the celebrated Egyptologist and authority on rare Oriental treasures. A storm rages within, too, for there has been a murder, and dark forces, human equations, are at work.
Mr. Lockmore, I hate to trouble you further, but you see...
No trouble at all, Inspector. If I can help you solve the death of my young secretary, I want to do so, of course. Secretary, did I say? John Blaine was more like a son, Inspector.
Yes, I'm sure of that, Mr. Lockmore. Now, you say you were sitting near the fireplace when he came in.
That is correct.
I see. Well, would you mind repeating what you told me before?
Not at all. I was sitting by the fireplace, as I say. The storm had not abated outside.
Mr. Blaine is here, sir.
Well, show him in, Wagnall. Show him in.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Wagnall. Good evening, sir. Foul weather we're having, isn't it?
Indeed it is. It's very good to see you, John, after your trip. Let me take your hand, my boy.
It's good to see you, sir. I've much to tell you about the trip. The curator of the museum...
Hey, what's the matter, boy? You look ill.
No, I suddenly...
Here, be careful.
I...
Wagnall! Wagnall, for heaven's sake, come here, man. And he died in my arms, Inspector. He'd not been in the room a minute, but he was murdered. The autopsy showed that. Poisoned with a mysterious mixture that has even the police toxicologist stopped.
I see. Well, I dare say...
No, you don't.
Let me
Stop
go.
trying to
Let
get away
me go.
because it ain't going to do you no good. Now get in there.
What's up, Rankin?
This butler, or whatever he is, Wagnall, snooping at the door.
I wasn't snooping, sir. I give you my word, sir. All right, Rankin, I'll take care of this.
Come now, Wagnall. Steady yourself. There's nothing to upset you. Here, give me your hand.
Yes, sir. Oh, such horrible things have happened here tonight that I... Oh,
what is it, Wagnall?
nothing, sir. Nothing at all. Why are you rubbing your hand, Wagnall? Nothing, sir. Really, I give you my word, sir. Not that I doubt your word, Wagnall, but let me see that hand. Please, Inspector, Why, it's nothing more than a scratch. Why on earth should you be afraid to show me that, Wagnall? I wasn't afraid to show it you, sir.
Inspector, I'm sure Wagnall can be of no help. Your man must be mistaken when he says he was snooping.
Ah, very well. You may go, Wagnall. Thank you, sir.
Watch him, boss. Why, looks like he's going to...
Here, Wagnall. Oh.
Is he cooked, boss?
Dead, Rankin, yes.
Wagnall, too?
Wagnall, too. That scratch on his hand. Why didn't he want me to see that?
It's beyond me, Inspector.
It's not beyond me, Mr. Lockmore. I think Wagnall was protecting someone, and that someone was you, Mr. Lockmore.
That's a strange thing to say.
I think I know what killed your secretary. He knew too much for the good of your reputation. Blaine, your secretary, was really the brains behind your great achievements in Oriental discovery. Blaine had covered you up before, but tonight he came here to tell you that he was about to expose you for the fraud you are.
This is very interesting.
Wagnall knew, too. He'd have protected you, poor chap, only you didn't give him the chance. You killed him before our very eyes.
And how, may I ask, was that accomplished, Inspector?
By means of that ring on your finger. You grasp a man by the hand in a friendly fashion. A slight prick. So sorry, old man. I must have that nail clipped. And the damage is done. The man is poisoned and will die in less than a minute.
Inspector, you're truly remarkable. You'll get a promotion for this.
Put the cuffs on him, Rankin.
You're too late, Inspector.
What do you mean, you...
Yes, I'm afraid that nail never will be clipped now.
Another 5-minute mystery. Night in a desolate part of rural England. As the curtain rises, two men are making their way against the wind and snow.
Hey, George Constable, haven't seen a blizzard like this since 1906. I'm sorry I had to call you out on a night like this. But when young Mr. Stanhope called me on the telephone, I thought you'd better come along, too. What did young Stanhope say? Well, nothing, saving he thought something was gone wrong up at the house, and I'd better come straight off. I hope it's nothing serious, Constable. Things have been